How to buy government-owned property. This seems to be a very big mystery. Anytime you say government-owned property, there's visions of profits, there's visions of difficulty, there's visions of there's no way I can do it. Well, guess what? You can do this and you can do it simply. In this video, I'll reveal the abundance of government-owned property out there, how to do it effectively, safely, and profitably. Like anything, there is risk involved in buying property, period. Whether it's owned by the government or not is kind of irrelevant, okay? The fact that it is owned by the government, there is a very set procedure to make this happen, and that's actually a benefit. The challenge is the procedure is different everywhere you go, which is the challenge, which is also the beauty of it. Now listen, if you're liking any of these videos, give a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and most importantly, if you have questions, comment down below. Several of you have actually seen me live in conferences. You actually answer the questions, and yes, I do. That's me talking to you. Got any questions? Just jot them down below. I'll answer them. Now let's just talk specifically about government-owned single-family residential property. Okay, it seems to be, I don't know if you want to say the gateway drug, if you will, for any kind of government-owned property out there, because we all know what a single-family residential property, that's where you and I live, okay? I mean, there's buildings, there's land, there's all that other stuff, and I've got other videos on that if you like. But let's specifically focus on single-family residential properties. One of the ways that you can do this is through the strategy of tax liens and tax deeds. Now, this is not complicated in some ways. It's just every single county in the United States, and there are over 5,000 taxing jurisdictions around the United States, has a different procedure. Now, the nice thing is there are 50 states, and each one of them has their own set of rules. Here's the kicker. Every single state within, or a county, I should say, within that state interprets the rules differently. Now, some would say that's a barrier. Some would say that's an obstacle. I say that's an opportunity. Because what the deal is you can't, and I'm going to make up a new word, I think, systematize this. What that means is a tax lien or a tax deed on a property is processed very similar. So a tax lien and a tax deed is actually the very same coin, just two different sides. A tax lien is when the county places a lien on the property for delinquent taxes that have been delinquent for 1 year. A tax deed is placed on a property when a property has been delinquent for 4 years on a minimum. Now, let's just start with a tax lien certificate. Tax lien certificate is very straightforward. Once a property becomes 1 year delinquent on their property taxes, the county government will place a lien on that property. Now, let's just stop for a second. Does the county need that money? Absolutely. Let's think about it. The county can't print money, unlike other government agencies out there. So the county has to rely almost entirely on property taxes. Most importantly, you've got schools. Then you've got fire department, police departments, hospitals, roads, bridges. All of these things are necessities to function a county in the United States properly. Now, if anybody has traveled outside the United States to any kind of a jurisdiction out there that doesn't have a pretty entrenched property tax system that was based on the English system way back when, you're gonna see some, I don't know, let's be polite and say discrepancies in county maintenance and services out there. So this is a critical role, especially for the schools. So the county says, okay, look, if you're not gonna pay your property taxes, our only leverage that we can pull is putting a lien in that property. Because taxes on properties have been available or been on properties for so long, it automatically takes a first position on the property. So in all respects, a tax lien certificate is always on a property, on your property. You just don't see it until you don't pay it. When you don't pay it, it automatically pops up and becomes a first position. This ensures the county will get their money. So let me just kind of walk through this process. Okay, you haven't paid your taxes. We're going to put a lien on it, but that's not the end of it. What they have to do in all the counties is offer that up for sale, okay, if it's a tax lien county. Okay, so they offer it up for sale. People like you and I can come in there, put up the money for the delinquent taxes, and they will hand you a certificate. That certificate goes on file down at the county courthouse. It's a legal document. Okay, now here's the beautiful thing about that. Okay, it goes on file. You don't own the house. You don't have to do maintenance on the house. You are not even dealing with the property owner. In fact, the county will be doing 90% of the work for you. Now, what happens at that point is the property owner is given what they call a redemption period. In other words, a time period that they're allotted to pay off those delinquent taxes. Now, if the county was really organized and they were only delinquent 1 year and they brought that up for sale immediately after that, it's probably going to be a 3-year redemption period. Why do I say probably a 3-year redemption period? Because a property cannot be lost to the owner for delinquent property taxes until they've been at least 4 years delinquent on their property tax. That's kind of SOP, standard operating procedure, everywhere in the country. So in this case, their redemption period or grace period for the property owner is more than likely going to be 3 years. You're not going to have to guess what it is. It's going to be clearly written in the rules. I've got other videos on that. But what that means to you is that property owner has got 3 years to come in and pay those delinquent property taxes to the county. Now, what your benefit in this whole role is, that certificate is going to pay an interest rate. And you might want to write this down. The interest rate is going to bear an interest of anywhere from, say, like 10% on the low side up to 36% or even higher on the high side. And again, I've broken all the different states and different videos. You can look at that. But the point is, it's substantial. Okay, so when the property owner comes in to pay off the delinquent taxes at the county, what they're going to be required to do is they're going to be required to pay off the full amount that you put in there, plus whatever prevailing interest rate is set by that state. Let's say it's 18%. That's pretty normal. So they'll pay you the county the back taxes plus the 18%. Now this is where it gets really fun. The county's going to see that you're the lien holder of record. They can't drag their feet on this. This isn't some government bureaucracy that gets around to it when they feel like it. They automatically have to cut you a check for your full investment plus the interest rate, in this case, a prevailing 18% per year. Okay, it's not 18 divided by 3. Now, fantastic, you're happy. I mean, Treasury bonds at this recording, we're only paying 5.25%. Okay, so you're doing good. But what happens if the property owner doesn't pay the property taxes off? Great question. At the end of 3 years, if the property owner has failed to pay off the property taxes, it's no big deal. Because of the fact that all you've done is taken the county's position, you literally have the same power as the county. Okay, so what does that mean? That means at this point, all you have to do is call your workhorse, the county. Property owners failed to pay off the property taxes. I am the lien holder of a record, and I would like to foreclose on this property due to delinquent property taxes. All right, so boom, at that point, you start the foreclosure process. Somewhere within 60 to 90 days, if somebody doesn't come in and satisfy those delinquent taxes, I don't care who it is, you will end up with that property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances, including a mortgage. You heard me right. See, the county takes a superior position. Now, they don't just sneak in the middle of the night and go, okay, and then wait and take this. If there's a bank mortgage or there's a second lien or there's Aunt Sally's lent them some money, everybody gets properly notified. That's what that 60 to 90 day windows is. But make no mistake about it. There is absolutely no gray area in this law. If they fail to come in within the prescribed amount of time, okay, in this case 60 to 90 days, to pay off those delinquent taxes, okay, you will own that property free and clear of all liens and encumbrances. There is no ambiguity. There is no gray area. You own the property. Now that is a straightforward tax lien certificate. The other side of that is you come in at the very end of it where the county is the one that waits during the 3 years, 4 years at this minimum, and they say, listen, the property owner hasn't paid the property taxes. As a taxing jurisdiction, we're going to go ahead and just offer the deed up for sale. That's where you go in and you pay the delinquent back taxes on that property, and they immediately hand you the deed of the property, free and clear of all liens and encumbrances. Those are really the two sides of tax lien certificates and tax deeds. But you're buying the property from the government. Now, there is a plethora of information that you need per county out there. Okay, again, I've said before, there aren't 5,000 counties in the United States. There's more than like 2,000, but there's taxing jurisdictions everywhere. For instance, in New Jersey alone, there's over 600 jurisdictions in there. Okay, they're not 600 counties, but they do it differently. And that's what makes this beautiful. Okay, don't look at this as a challenge. Don't look at this as a hard thing because everybody does it differently. As soon as a county makes it difficult, they're making it difficult for everybody, trust me. Okay, so the more that you can look into that and find out their little system in there, start rubbing your hands together. That's where the money is made. Look, there's a lot going on. I'm sure you're excited at this point. I've got a brand new training that I just put together on this subject right there. All you got to do is click the link down below, higginsmethod.com, fill out the information there, and I will immediately send you the information for that training. We'll see you on the other side. God bless and good luck.